All right, what's going on, everybody? So we're gonna be working on this painting in the back, and what we're working on here is called a straight edge painting. So let me get some gloves on. I like to call it tape painting, like you're painting with tape, because that's really what it is. You're just using tape to create these nice clean edges. But so obviously this is a finished painting. I might add a little bit more to it in another day, but for now, we're gonna stick with this. And we got this one in the back. We're gonna be going with this tape. And as of right now, I've only put the tape on. I haven't done the sketch yet. So I need to put this painting away, and then we'll get started on this painting in the back. So put this painting away, and then we'll go ahead and get started here in a moment. And here we go. So straight edge. Basically, the idea is pretty self-explanatory. You use tape, and that helps you get a lot of straight edges. And what I'm going to do that I haven't done already, I'm going to, add this to the process, is basically sketch in what I'm going to draw. So let's go ahead and pop open some of our materials. If you're popping in right now, you're catching this at the very earliest part of this video because we're just getting started now. I did in the previous video set all this tape up, and that's pretty much all I did. Now what I'm gonna do, and by the way, I don't usually do this all the time. First, you win a new car, Mark. Yes, Mark wins a new car. That'd be pretty sweet, huh? If I just gave cars away. It'd be good for you because you probably, even if I did a raffle, you'd probably win because you're Mark Dietz. So anyway, here we go. I got a sketch that I'm gonna work on right here, and I'm gonna use this as the creative inspiration. And I need to mark down where I want the feet to go and where I want the head to go. So basically, let me see. I'm gonna have the body pretty much here, and this is why most people sketch out ahead of time and then lay on top. But I'm gonna focus on going with some clean, straight edges here, which means I should be using a straight edge to sketch this in. I don't think I have like a straight ruler though, so I don't know how I'm gonna do this exactly. I mean, I have this, but it's kind of clunky, and I don't think I'm gonna get the exact design I want. So let's just sketch it and hope for the best. All right. So here we go. I'm gonna do the head right here, and we need 3 lengths of body. So let's say one head here, one ear, and then the head kind of just fills this space, and then the head's like this, then 1, 2, 3, and then the feet are gonna go down right down here. So let's do that. Let's mark the feet right here. It's going to go right under the head basically. So we're going to mark the top of the furthest most ear right around here. And you know what? This pencil's not even showing up. So how am I going to resolve this? I got to use a darker pencil. So this is a 3H, which means it's a very light pencil. I need a B, a higher B color in order to get this working. And Mark Dietz, what's going on with you, dude? How's your afternoon, your morning, your evening? How's everything going for you? So I basically want the feet and the ear to end around the same spot. So I'm going to start the ears right. Where did I have it last time? See, I can't even see the mark. I think it needs to be a little further in, so we're gonna go big ears, big old cat ears, just like this. There we go. That's a little better. So I can see, which means, so you know what will be really annoying is if I do this and it turns out I don't have enough space to fit everything. So that's one reason why you would want to sketch out things ahead of time. And basically, be about as long as the ear. And this is going to be really a really loose idea, really loose sketch. And here we go. So bring this down and bring this up. And now we're sketching out the face, going well, but it's freezing and rainy today. Where is that? I can't not draw. I can't draw. What's up, Jen? All right, so it sounds like Tariq or Tariq wants to feels like they have something to say. They have something very important to say. So I guess Tariq deserves to be heard. The man deserves to be heard. Right? I assume that it's man. Hope I'm not getting that mistaken. And yeah. Let's go ahead and sketch this side of the body here. We're going to go straight down from the head, and we're going to go about the same length as the head right here. And we're going to go pretty straight with this piece. Pretty straight down. So 3 heads. 1, 2, and then 3. Right down to about here. You know what? I think the waist is going to come down right about here. Tariq. So Tariq, what made you want to share your thoughts about my ability? What brings you here today? What brings you in to this exciting place? This exciting part of the internet. So actually, I'm going to bring this down. Like if you repeat something like that much, it feels like, almost feels like it's something that you're telling yourself. You know what I mean? Now this one I could just set this here, bring this. So what's going on with you, Jen? How you doing, Jen Hammeyer? Hammeyer? Is that how you say it? So right now I'm sketching, which means I'm a little bit more in thought mode right now. And this feels a little unnatural, so we're gonna bring this up just a bit. There we go. That feels a little bit more natural as far as how this leg needs to go. And then we're gonna come down, bring this across. And now we're gonna do the tail. So the tail needs to come around. We're gonna make this a lot of angles. So this is gonna be a pretty straightforward painting. I'm not getting too much into like roundness or anything. This is gonna be pretty straight, clean edges as far as the painting goes. So right now I'm doing this is called the Black Cat. That's what we're gonna name this painting. And right now I'm still just sketching it out. Sketching out our painting here. So this has to be about the same length as that, pretty much. And then we're gonna be like, bring this down a bit. And sketching out this kitten here. Let's see. And this is gonna be gonna go right here. Gonna come up a bit. And now let's get this side of the head. We're gonna come down and I'm free sketching this, obviously. And we're gonna go and then now I need this other paw to also come out because we're gonna do this 2 different shades. And this is also gonna come up. And once we get this paw going, let's get this paw. And here we go. I'm gonna bring this paw down and then in a bit, give it a little bit of a shoulder. It's very kitten-like, right? Oh yeah, now we need the tail. So let's get a tail going on here. We're gonna give the tail a nice big kitten tail. Sketch this down, bring it around this angle here. Oh no, it's a little too wide right there. So I'm gonna bring it in a bit more. And let's see. So maybe if I bring this, I feel like this needs to be this needs to be down, and then we're gonna go hey kitty, stretch out your legs. Let me see them. Needs to insert right around here because this leg's a little bit more stretched out. I'm trying to explain what's going on here, but let's see if I can just draw it. Oh, Teddy, hey, what's going on, Teddy? How you doing? Good to see you, Teddy. Mark. Teddy is an awesome artist in Los Angeles as well. A wonderful, wonderful artist who has exhibits in France and Los Angeles and all over the world because she's so darn good. So this looks a little unusual, but I think we're just going to go with it. Let's run with it. Let me grab an eraser. I need an eraser right now. Let's see how some of this is going to look. If I let this go too far without, if I, like, I'm still pretty distracted by some of these marks. So I'm just erasing some of them so I can get a better idea of, like, you know, what I'm working with. Because right now, you know what? That's not working. And then definitely this area. I need to make some decisions here. But I don't think this eraser is going to work for this. So I kind of have to figure this out, because otherwise I have to redo this entire blue part. So as far as efficiency goes, you know, I'm just going to keep this line right here. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to make this look like it's like kind of like bent, and then this part is going to come down, and then it's lifted up a little bit because this side of the shoulder's up, so that lifts it up. So that's okay, but I'm going to just go straight in. And that's how we're going to make that piece right there. So I'm going to grab a razor now. Let's see, I feel like I used to have a scalpel, but you know, does anybody know a safe way to break off part of the razor? Because I want to use a different section of it. I guess you kind of just gotta like pop it off, or what? Anyway, I'm just gonna use this, and we're gonna go ahead and just go ahead and sketch this out here. So carve it out. This really is my first time trying like something like this, so I don't actually know how this is gonna work out, because you know, it might just turn out that like I don't want to be too sharp, because then I'll cut through. But also don't want to be not sharp enough, because otherwise, oh, there we go. That's a sign that we did a good job. And here we go. So continuing along with this, did I even do this side yet? No, I have not done this corner. And I'm just hoping I'm not cutting through the canvas, but we'll find out in a few hours if we do. But this is a medium roughness canvas, which means it should be okay. That I'm not gonna have, like, you know, too many issues with this canvas. Yeah, what's great is I can actually feel the canvas when I'm cutting, like when it cuts through the tape and just goes into the canvas. Which is great. But as always, people, safety, safety. I gotta make a decision here. I'm gonna cut across like so. And here we go. So this is why I use a lot of straight lines for this. And for anyone wondering, I got this idea from Instagram. Instagram is such a great place to get ideas, an endless supply of ideas. Instagram is good for anything. As far as artists go, it is a great place to stay connected to people that you want to stay connected to, as well as finding good ideas. And the hardest part about this is just knowing whether this, it's the not knowing, I guess you could say. It's the not knowing of how this tape is going to do once we start painting and everything. And things get moving. So these two sections actually need to be separate. So we're going to go like down like so. You know, like with anything, there's always anything new. There's always things that you might not predict are going to affect the work. And that didn't sound good. Did it poke through? Yeah, so far so good. No holes yet. Oops. I just gotta be careful not to go too hard. But I can't also be too scared, otherwise burn. Can't be too not too gentle, because otherwise it might not cut through. So I'm not trying to pretend like this is a super delicate situation. It's not. But it is important to think about what's being sliced here. And here we are. So popping this down, and then there we go. Bring this up like that. And here we go. So this what is this thing that I have in my hand? This ruler is basically just here to help me keep my hands steady. There are definitely tons and tons of better ways to keep your hands steady. I feel like anyone who's ever done this has to have a better process. Like, I feel like there's a way that if you were to like somehow create a layer of tape and then draw on top of the tape first and then lay it on top of your canvas, that could work. Or maybe like doing it sitting down instead. Fern, are you being nice? Huh? Fern? So the big cat, our adult cat, is messing with the little kittens, and sometimes she could be a little rough. So let's go like this, give this a little shape. And I am kind of confused about how I'm going to navigate this section right here with the elbow. So I'm just going to put a crease here. But I don't know exactly how it's going to work yet. And then let's go down here. We're going to go down. Scout, you okay, dude? Scout, you okay, man? All right. Kittens will be kittens. Cats will be cats. It's only a concern. Like I usually let the two kittens play together pretty easily. But the bigger one, sometimes it looks like she'd get a little rough, and I think because she's bigger, it catches my attention. Okay, almost there. We can almost start painting. And here's a funny thing. I was listening to this audiobook this morning, and in the audiobook it said something along the lines of like, most people don't really care about the process. The only people that care about the process are like other artists and beginners. And it kind of made me feel like, is there a point in making all of these live streams? I don't know. Maybe if just for future artists or other artists in general, but like, people that are going to buy art, people that are interested and curious about the art itself, they're not going to be supposedly interested in the actual process itself. And I heard a great quote. When bankers get together for dinner, they talk about art. When artists get together for dinner, they talk about money. I guess I'm blocking everything, aren't I, huh? Gotta call me out sometimes. All right, let's see. Thank goodness canvas is denser than tape, because otherwise this would probably be cutting straight through. And you know what? I probably could do this painting without tape, but tape just makes it that much easier. Can't tell if I cut. Oh yeah, I did cut this section already. So here we go. We're gonna. Okay, so hopefully we've got it all. We've used a little X-Acto knife, or is that what this is called? An X-Acto knife? I don't really know what this is called. Some type of knife. And how do I close it? It's not closing. There we go. Okay, never mind. So let's get to this, shall we? Got the tape. You know what I haven't really planned that I should have planned is the colors. And I'm trying to think, how do I want to do the colors? Let's start with the bottom first. This is going to be the easiest part right off the top. And I'm trying to think of what color I want to have here. I guess we could start with just a pure red because I have red already prepared. So let's just go with this bottom section and lay down our first layer of paint here. Once we get started, I don't know if there's much turning back, so there we have it. And I want to use, what kind of brush do I want to use? I want to use a brush that's going to create like a really nice smooth texture. And you know, I think this just might be like the perfect size brush for right now. So let me clean this off, get some oil on it, season it, add some seasoning. Actually, you know what? This brush might be a little bit better. Yeah, I'm going to use a different brush. So let me just share the brushes that I'm using for this and share with you why I feel like this other brush might be better. So the two brushes I'm considering right now, I've got this Rosemary Co short flat brush. This is made out of badger hair, so it's a much like softer hair. I don't know if you could tell, but like the bristles are very fine. It's very soft, but very dense and thick. Whereas this one is a, I believe this is synthetic. This is ivory long flat, and this might make it easier, but you know, the bristles are a little bit more, I don't want to call it like rubbery. They're not rubbery. That's the wrong word to use. It's just the bristles are much more, it's synthetic, so it's different. You know, you just have this natural, really soft haired brush. It's going to create a different texture when you spread it across the surface. So yeah, we're gonna use the softer brush here. That's the goal. And the softer brush should hopefully, ideally, help us create a much softer texture or much smoother situation. So let's try this out. Let's just grab a nice dense red. And then, you know, one thing I haven't really thought about is like, so we're just starting the painting right now. I'm gonna grab this nice red here and just spread it right along, right along. And one great thing about painting with this way is you don't really have to worry about, you know, you're free to just, once you have the whole plan laid out, and I've only done one other tape painting. I don't really enjoy this style of painting, but I had an idea that I wanted to do, so that's the only reason why I'm doing it. You know, once you get an idea, you know, you can't be scared to go try it out, even if you don't necessarily fully want to. But the joy of painting, the joy of creating artwork, the joy of creating something is enough. And here we go, just spreading across. One thing I have to be considerate of is not accidentally scraping the tape off. That would be really annoying. So, because then otherwise it kind of like, I have to wait for it to dry and then repaint over some of the areas. So just working on spreading it straight across here and getting our first layer of paint, right? How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. How do you build the planet? You do one building at a time. So here we go. Got a nice bright red. I love this red. I think this is a great way to start the surface. And unlike I usually do, my goal that I want to do is try to make this really smooth. I don't usually spend too much time trying to make it smooth, but for this one I will. Try to keep a much smoother surface. I'm gonna go blend into the underneath here just to get that color underneath. Paint around to the sides here. And as you can see, this creates a nice, smooth texture. This brush is what I'm talking about specifically. Other brushes might kind of like scrape the paint off, but this one allows you to just create this nice little texture. And here we go. So we got this nice, I want to use up as much of this red from this paintbrush as I can, because I'm not really going to be using this brush in more than one area. I'm pretty much going to have to clean it off after every section, because you know the whole point of doing a hard edge painting like this is you want to get straight lines, you want to get, you know, nice clean colors. So that's what we got. So we're going to clean off this brush right now, get it nice and clean. Season it with some oil here. Now I got to think of my next color. But also I got to think about how I'm going to not allow the previous color to interfere with the new one. So that's going to be a little bit of a challenge, but that's okay. What are we going to do right now? Let's do a little bit at the top. I just want to hope that this ear stays. That's part of my goal. I hope this ear up here is okay. You know what? We went from top to bottom, so I think we should do reverse, because just in case, and you know, I'm just sharing some of my thinking right now. Just in case there's like a you know, a layer of tape that's like stuck, that the bottom is on top of the top one. So just in case that happens, it might make it easier if I allow myself to only do from bottom to the top. Which reminds me of a Linkin Park song. From the top to the bottom. And see, look how straight that line is. Isn't that beautiful? Hard edge painting for those perfectionists out there that need hard lines, hard straight lines. Very different than what I'm used to, but you know what? I like to do things that I don't necessarily, that isn't necessarily the exact way I like to do things. You know, I like to challenge myself by trying a variety of ways of doing things. So the hard part now is, how do I get this line on without getting any of the red? I don't know, honestly. Yeah, I don't really know. So I should lay down some more colors. I got black, I got white, I got yellow. I need a blue. I'm gonna grab a nice blue. Let's see, is this a blue? No. I guess I probably don't even need black. I might use black once or twice. Hope that I don't like pick any colors that are like symbolic of something I don't even know. But I'm gonna lay this blue down right over here so that we can actually capture some of this green, which would be okay. And let's see. So right now, my goal is to add this blue. You know what? Let's add this yellow. We've already got this yellow. It's a little bit of a green. Mix in this greenish yellow. It's okay if it's a little bit bright. And let's just start. So let's go bring it right into here. I'll have to figure out how I'm going to do the edge here, the red edge, in a bit. But right now, just start by laying down this paint here. Get it nice and straight across. All right. So this is the hard part. I have to be very precise here. Oh, Mizu. Oh, Snapple. You didn't miss much. This is a cat. Yeah, keeping things horizontal. So this is a cat. It's supposed to be a cat. I guess I should add a little, some type of little ball here, or a rectangle. Let me think. So I got, where can I put like a little ball? Where would be a good place to, that a cat would kind of have its like, I like this empty space here though, but I might add something. But thanks for reminding me, dude. Thanks for talking and just sending a message, because I wanted to do something here, but I totally forgot that I was going to do it. So let's see, rule of thirds is probably like right here. So if I kind of, rule of thirds, if I throw something right here, that might be a good spot. Like a little random object. So let's do that. I almost forgot. We're going to throw a little random square here. Let's sketch out a square, shall we? So rule of thirds, where are we? Rule of thirds is going to be about right here. I'm usually off on my thirds sometimes, but that's okay. And then the top to the bottom would be like right here. So we're going to just sketch it out in this little area. Let's do what's a good shape? What's a good shape that's, I guess, a square? Or an octagon? I'm trying to think either a hexagon or an octagon. What's like a more... You know what? It doesn't even have to be... It could just be a triangle. Or you know what? I'm just going to do a circle. A circle's good. I'm going to do a red circle. No. I don't want to do this. What am I going to do? Right here. Rule of thirds right here. Let's go... Rule of thirds-ish. Because I think the rule of thirds is going to be broken up more like up here, so that's okay. You can do any shape. It doesn't have to be an exact... Let's get creative with our shapes here. I guess this isn't even that creative. It's more like a trapezoid or something. Some form of a trapezoid. Or whatever you call it. And, you know, I didn't get oh yeah, it kind of looks like a fish. So I didn't get a scalpel, but I had one of these, fortunately. You know, the thing about a scalpel is I feel like if I dropped a scalpel, I would be really, the dangers of dropping a scalpel. You know what I mean? Like that type of thing. I was like thinking of like the worst case scenario. It's stuck. All right, here we go. So here we go. We're gonna go. Here we go. Okay, so we've got that sliced up. But yes, so we're moving along. And I'm gonna figure out... My biggest concern is these areas... Uh-oh. Oh no. Is these areas right here, because... This is part of why I don't want to do straight edges, because like I feel like if I do straight edges, it has to be perfect. You know what I mean? So like it's unacceptable to have any like crossover in this section right here. And it just, I have to be so precise. So I don't even know how I'm gonna do this once it gets to the top, because I guess what I should have done is like allow every other space. I don't know what would be the best way, because if I do every other space, I have the freedom, but then I have to worry about the top and the bottom once I get into the other space. I guess I just have to hope that this is really going to test my my patience and my hand-eye coordination. So I know I'm blocking the screen a little bit now, but this isn't really like a pivotal thing. I mean, most of you pretty much get what I'm doing. You know, there's no magic here. The magic has already happened. You know, the magic is knowing, putting the tape on, the idea of straight edges, knowing that this is going to be a cat or whatever animal playing with something, and oh yeah, the tough part. I guess it's oils, right? That's why. I heard acrylics work very well for this technique. But you know, this is totally gonna push my perfection OCD-ness to the level, you know, so if I do end up making this a thing, which I hope I don't, I'll probably just have to invest in acrylic. And you know what's crazy is the light's so bright, and this is such a bright color, it's like making me go blind. Not really, but yeah. So we're gonna keep going like this. Good thing I have this very straight brush. And you know what? I think I'm getting just close enough, which is perfect, that I'm not too worried about... Although I do see some of the red getting into this section, but that's okay. It's not too much. It's not overly doing it. This is getting annoying because I didn't clean the bottom of the brush properly. So now some of the red is getting into the paint up here, and it's making me like need to blend it. Not bad so far, but this is really gonna work out my lower back here. Just so you know, this is like the perfect brush for this. This is a Rosemary Co brush, but you could tell that this is a very flat tip. This is like the perfect brush for this, except for maybe a, I guess the only other one that might be better is a, what's that other brush called? A filbert. The only brush that might be slightly better is a filbert. Breathe. Breathe. I feel like I'm playing that game. Do you see this? This is horrible. This is horrible. You can't... I am not designed for this type of work. This little bit of red. But I do like feeling like I'm playing that game where you like have a piece of metal that you stick through this like tube thing, and you have to like, it shocks you if you touch the edges. I was actually pretty good at that game as a kid. I feel like I need to wear sunglasses for this. So I'm throwing out some sunglasses for this so I don't go blind staring at super bright color here. And I could just barely see the line detail, which is fine. Yeah, I don't think these sunglasses are actually helping. It's making it harder to see these subtle shades because this is such a low value color that it's really hard to see the subtle change in the value of these lines. Okay. And what I probably need to do is wipe my brush off every once in a while. Don't do this type of painting unless you either have acrylic, I guess, is what Mark Omizu is trying to point out, that that's what this type of paint style is designed for. Unless you either have acrylic or you are prepared to do this incredible detail here that no human being should actually have to do. Clean off the brush, wipe off some of the red, and now we can keep our activity going. A little bit of cleaning up the brush and continuing on. Fortunately, oil paint will spread. If you didn't know that already, oil paint spreads. So what you can do, I want to use a little bit denser paint though. So I'm going to grab some more of this color. A vertical lazy Susan. You'd have to turn the canvas, literally same full-on DJ the canvas around like a turntable. What do you mean? I don't know what y'all are saying about turning around, because this is actually pretty, I feel like I would actually, oh, you mean like do it vertically? I don't know if that would make it easier though, would it? I guess it would actually. I might have to do that in a moment, but let me finish this. Yes. But what's going on, Inaya? How are you? It's been a while, eh? Almost there. One line at a time. How do you eat a horse? I've never eaten a horse. How do you eat an elephant? You eat it one bite at a time. Okay, second line finished. Yes, that could work. But I don't know if I would actually do better though, because I would need something to like, I mean, I guess I could rest my arm, but I don't know, this, I might try that in a bit. But for now, let's get this next part done. I gotta make sure that this even works, so hopefully once I pull this off, the part that was cut will hopefully come right off. So let's test this out. This will be the first layer here. Make sure it's nothing else. Ah, nice. Okay. All right, we have progress. Line number 2. Line number 3. How many lines do we have? Let's break this down by number of lines. Got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 39. So 39 more lines to go. It took me about 5 minutes per line, 10 minutes per line, so 390 minutes. So estimating that this will take about like 5 hours maybe. And that's before, that's just each line, I guess. The first line was so easy. Why can't they all just be that easy? Anyway, let's go. I need to cut off part of this. This little piggy isn't gonna work. Okay. So here's a question. Hey, I've got a question for y'all. I need to vote. So there's areas with these little. I don't think that's gonna look good because if it's not consistent throughout, then it just looks like a mess. I was gonna ask, what do y'all think with these lines that are separating the bodies? So obviously there's areas where, there's like a stripe coming through. I can either paint over that and allow the stripe to kind of separate the body, or I can just not paint over it. Yeah, actually, I'm not going to paint into these stripes. I was going to say the stripes might look cool to like just paint it straight through the body, but I don't think that's going to be an effective look. I'm not going to do it. Now, what would be cool is after this painting's done, if I like totally let it dry for like a couple months, and then I did another tape over it to just keep going with this process. But I don't think that's going to happen. So let me clean off this brush. But I think we're off to a decent start. All right, so we got our red, we got our like yellow green. What would the opposite of like a yellow green be? Or like what would naturally go next to a green? So if I was to make this leg naturally red, orange, yellow, green, I guess we could go with a blue. I need to find a way to create a muted blue. Muted blue. So just add a little bit of this cerulean. So we need a little bit of this cerulean, just a tiny bit. And we're gonna water it down with a lot of, actually I gotta remember to clean my brushes better and not have the previous color be all up in it. So cleaning off this brush, wiping it down a little bit better. See, we're going to learn line by line how to make this even more efficient. This is why artists who paint very, like, who actually sketch these out, and you know, like I paint with my brush, right? Like I use my brush, I sketch with my brush is what I mean. I sketch with my brush, and you know, even artists who don't sketch with their brush, something just distracted me now. I'm trying to figure out like the best way to. This looks okay. I mean, this leg looks like it's extended, but if it's extended, then it's gotta be further out. So if this leg comes like that, like it's gotta be a little bit longer, I think. Trying to think of the lengths here. So this length is like that. This length is like that. Like it's almost the same exact length, except this leg is supposed to be extended here. So I'm feeling like it's just not accurate as far as the length goes, but this is why drawing is so important. What can I do? So I can, if I bring this out, I'm just concerned that this is going to look funny. So this is going to come out like that, and this is going to come out. But he's kind of like sitting at his side, so I think it's okay if this... Hold on, I need to sketch this down on my paper a little bit, so... you know what? I think it'll be okay, because I'm going to make updates. Now's the time to do it. Gotta give him a knee. Let his knee come out. Give it a little bit like that. This will come out just a little bit. Otherwise it feels weird. Yeah, I think this might be a little better. I need to cut this area right here. Wait, which one did I just do? Let me see. I'm gonna go like that, and then down a bit. Yeah, honestly, I think this feels a little bit more natural. So we're gonna cut it in right into here. And I'm okay freehanding this part, because he needs, like, you know, the leg. He needs that leg to pretty much pop out. So we're coming down here. And then where does it connect? It should kind of connect around the same. So if this is like this, that's like that, that's like that. So it should connect right about here. When I'm thinking of, if I'm thinking of like proportion, you know? And it's okay if it's not exact, but I do want it to feel more natural as far as how this leg comes out. How is this leg coming out? Yeah, this leg needs some more width, just to kind of make it look like it's a little bit bent and make it look more normal. All right, hopefully that works. Otherwise, we're just gonna have to live with our error. 2 down, looking good. All right, next color. I said I was gonna do a toned down blue, so that's what we're gonna do. Make sure there's no color coming off of this brush, none of that yellowness from the previous one. Grab our white here. And you know what? It's okay if some of that yellow's in it, as long as we can create a nice subtle shade of blue. Want like a nice light blue here. Nice light baby blue. That's our goal. Baby blue, baby blue. So not quite a white, but not quite white. A little bit more blue. I don't want it to be too dull. I want it to be a little bit more saturated. Okay, there we go. We got a good color. Let's get this down. So we're gonna go right across here. Let's start getting this color down. Oh, whoa, that was very lucky. So I basically accidentally scraped into the green, but just barely touched the surface. I don't know. I think my mind unconsciously, subconsciously prevented myself from making a huge error. But you know what? I'm definitely gaining a more of appreciation. I know most artists do this with acrylic, and supposedly, according to Omizu, it's a little bit easier. I guess mainly because the paint dries faster, right? So you don't have the chance of spreading. But even then, you still gotta like figure out the hard edges. I guess like if you didn't have if you had acrylic, I could just tape over every single night after I'm done with each edge. I could just tape over it if I wanted to be like, super, super perfect and everything. But, I don't know. I don't think hard edge artists are like that much of a stickler, but I could be wrong. I don't know. I don't know any hard edge artists at all, so. And then let's go on this side. Do y'all believe in the idea that your mind will sometimes course correct you without you even like thinking about it? You know what I mean? Like, have you ever heard of people that get into like car accidents and just at the last minute, like unconsciously, they swerve out of the way? Have you ever had that experience? I feel like that just happened to me with this piece. Excuse me. Ooh. A little burp there. Am I blocking the screen, by the way, people? If I am, I'll try to be more cognizant of that. But I don't think I'm blocking like the actual part that I'm making, right? Am I? Oh yeah, you can't even see this back part anyway, so I'm just doing the around the corner. That's it right there. And then right here, and right up to the edge. And let's go. I might even have to like go in with a cleaner brush here. All right, so let's chain things up. Let's start from this side. gonna take a long time. Okay, so just need to spread this paint out. I think it's gonna be unavoidable that I have potential artifacts from the previous section. It's gonna be almost unavoidable that I have these artifacts. Little bits and pieces. Or signs of color from the previous section. Or maybe I'm just not trying hard enough to be perfect. I don't know. I gotta step away to take breaths because having oil paint right underneath my nose when I use a lot of mineral spirits can sometimes give me a headache. So Mizu, how did your cat drawings come out? I haven't seen any updates from your social media or anything with cat drawings. Is that a part of a project that you're gonna do more of in the future, or is that just something that's not for human consumption, or what? All right. I need this chair to help rest my body. You know, I think this will get easier with time. As I start to build up each section piece by piece, it's going to get easier and easier. Add to that, as we move up, there's going to be less space to fill, less of this line that I actually have to keep tight. This painting is going to be way more expensive than any other painting because of this effort that it takes. Almost there. Have this chair right next to me. That's helping support my body as I do this. All right. I feel good about myself with each line because this is not something I would normally do. I would not normally paint in this fashion. But now, you know, I'm thinking like, oh, what are the colors? I didn't really come up with like a color scheme for this painting yet. So I don't know how that's going to turn out. But something that also annoys me is I have to clean this brush off with every new palette, and I don't want to waste my paint. So I'm gonna find another canvas that I can kind of just like throw this paint on, because otherwise it feels like wasted paint. Let's see, let me find a painting I wouldn't mind messing up here. Here's a good one. So I started this chest painting a little while ago. Never finished it. Obviously, it looks very, you know, the paint was very messed up. Obviously, very incomplete. But I'm gonna use this as like my canvas to just throw the paint that goes unused on, so I don't feel like I'm wasting paint. I mean, no matter what, I'm gonna be wasting paint, but because this probably won't sell, right? But at least I have something. Something makes me feel better about where the paint is going. Because again, it is in my personal belief that paint should go onto a canvas and not wasted into a garbage can. So right now it's important that I get each of these brushes nice and clean, cleaner than I usually get them. I need to get these brushes even cleaner than I usually get them, because otherwise, if I try to like paint the leftover artifacts from the previous session, is going to get onto them. Whew. Okay, so 3 down, 38 more to go. 3 down, 38 more to go. So next up, this is the next up. And hopefully it stays on once we get to this. Oh wait, there's a couple sections here that need to stay on. So hopefully right here. Okay, that did okay. Nice, perfect razor. Okay, and then right here. Ooh. Fantastic. And then from the other side. Let's see. I wrapped it around too much. I'm being too precious here. Let me just. Uh-oh. Let me see. How do I get that piece off? There we go. Okay. So try to get it centered back. Oh yeah. Why didn't I think of that, Mark? I should have just done that. Well, actually, this shirt that I have on right now, I don't really want to get dirty. Which, you know, doesn't really make sense because I should be, that's a good point. I guess I could just put it off on my clothes. So full of good ideas, Mark. You could totally be an artist manager, dude. Manage artists. You ever think of that? Managing artists? All right. So, color scheme. I'm going to go with a straight black on this line. Since we have it. Since I have some of this black already. I don't know, will it look good? I'm trying to envision it. Yeah, I think it'll create contrast. You know, we're gonna have the super light colors and it's suddenly black. And just creates this distraction. This black paint is a little bit, just a little bit dry. So I want to add some oil and hopefully we can get it to spread a little better. There we go. So all I did was I added a little bit of oil to enhance the spreadability of this black. But also, it did weaken the color a bit. But we'll see, you know, hopefully it doesn't mess up too much. Yeah, I might have to just grab some more black right now. And some painter, oh yeah, okay. So here we go. I want to just really saturate this black here. I feel like when I added the oil, it kind of lost some of its dark saturation, which, of course, I guess I could have guessed that was going to happen, but I want to keep some of the black in this. I don't want it to be too undersaturated. Shoot. A little piece of this brush came off. Alright, we're going to start on this side. Oh my gosh, this black is so hard to work with. So what it's doing right now is it's creating this like, I think because I added the oil, now this black is like creating this like texture. And it's messing up the vibe. Messing up the vibe. All right, let's do some over here. This black has all these like little artifacts. These little paint boogers that keep popping off. Well, that's what I get, people, for not knowing my tools. So obviously the medium is oil. I guess a true artist would have maybe realized that this specific black paint would create issues like this. Let's keep going. Go across like so. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna do one black stripe on this because this black is just not working. But when you commit to a color, I guess you kind of got to just stick with it, right? Can't just give up on it. This black looks horrible on here. All right, whatever. We made our decisions, so we just got to stick with it, you know? Yeah, the black doesn't look very good. It's not dense enough. It's missing a density. It's missing like a saturation because all of this okay. Still not too big of a fan of how this black paint went onto the canvas. if we grab a little bit more. Is the solution to just add more black? I don't know. It's almost better. Almost there. I think just a little bit more. Almost there. Like, all my goal right now is to just give it like a nice, at least, consistency throughout. I don't think this is going to ultimately achieve the type of black stripe I want, but at least right now we can aim for a consistent look all the way across. And I think that's okay. I think that's okay what we got right now. There's still, you know, some of the bottom surface coming through, some of the white surface. But you know what? That's okay. You know what? We'll keep this for now. We might be able to just let the might be able to work on it later. Let's let this paint dry a bit, and then maybe we could just do another rough run through of the black later. And right now I gotta really clean my brush, because any black is left over, it's really going to show up in the next color. And I don't want it, it's okay if that happens, but I don't necessarily want it to accidentally like pop through for me to realize that I have black just as I'm like in the middle of painting this color. And you know what, even more concerning is how, you know, I might just have to like cheat it a little bit and go with like a dark ultramarine blue, so that I don't have to worry about color contamination. Because I think what would happen is if I used any color and I was to do the line across the black, any bit of black would totally just invade into the area and you know, make it a lot darker and totally spread it all the way across. Like, you know, black is a really challenging color to work with, and that's why I have a series called From Black, because I love playing with the color. But since this project specifically calls for certain type of a precision, I feel like I'm obligated to do that. So here we go. So too much tape here, so I gotta pull some of this off. That's probably one of the great reasons why it was good to start from the bottom up. Helps to. Why is this getting stuck? Okay. But fortunately, we have this. And look, the black definitely soaked through a little bit, but that's okay. Let's wrap this up a little bit. This leg, perfect. All right, we have made progress. I wonder what it will look like with just one black stripe going through. Oh no, I didn't even think of this, but what about this little section of the tail that I have to pull off? Anyway, where's this? So this is where wisdom would have came in handy, right? This is where wisdom separates an expert from an amateur. Wisdom would have told me that it's not necessary to put all the tape and then totally wrap it around to the back. So in my practical mind, I was like, oh, it'll be secure. I'm gonna secure this tape. But in the real mind, in the mind that is executing on this project right now, that is totally bad, because now I have to like pry some of this tape off, and I can't just like smoothly pull it off. So I have to go through this extra trouble of trying to pull this tape off, which is kind of annoying. It's just that extra step that, you know, doesn't need to be happen. Like, you know, if I was to redo this, I could probably get away with just placing tape, just going straight across and just leaving it and not wrapping around. So that's where wisdom comes in handy, people. Wisdom, experience makes things much easier and smoother. But hey, we all got to learn somehow, right? Oh no. Hopefully that kind of sticks around there. All right. And then one more thing, I need to scrape off this part of the tape here. Okay. And unfortunately, the way I'm doing this is with angles. You know, I'm using very hard, sharp edges. But if I was doing this another way, it might be much more difficult. If they were like rounder. Ooh, all right. And I also got to be careful not to place my hand on a wet paint. That's the problem with painting down to up, is, you know, that can create issues. So let's pop this back down so I can keep it more stable. All right. Razor away. So I think I'm gonna not work too much longer than this for tonight, because, you know, we got the sketch, we got the first few layers of paint, so, you know, I think it might be helpful. I'm coming up with excuses to not work for the rest of the night, but maybe I should just keep going, because this isn't hard. You know, it's less expressive, so I don't get the opportunity to just mess around, which, you know, that does make it a little bit harder. But at the same time, You know, the challenge isn't in the creativity, the challenge is staying tight. But that said, let's go with the, yeah, we're gonna go with the blue here. Nice ultramarine blue. And, oh, this color has mixed in with some of our undercolor. And hopefully this doesn't affect it too much. Okay, so here we go. Blue. Yes, you can actually tell the difference. And luckily, as I mentioned, the reason for the blue isn't an aesthetic one. It's for a technical one. I am afraid of getting the bottom layer of black to capturing it, and I feel like if I was to use a really light color like white, it would be too obvious if I was to pick up any bit of black. But if I use this ultramarine blue, this darker shade of ultramarine, I can kind of get away with a little bit of black picking up because this is a very high value color. And by high value, I mean like a darker color that will not show, where the color black won't make as much of a difference if it does get picked up. So that's just some strategy there. If anyone ever sees this painting in the future and they're like, whoa, that color blue looks so great to the black. How did Emmett Ferguson come up with that color combination? It's just amazing. And if they sift through the hundreds of thousands of hours of my live streaming content, obviously not hundreds of thousands, but you know, thousands of hours of live streaming content, they will find their answer. All right, anyway, daydreaming aside, my reasons are very practical. I would consider myself a very pragmatic person. Okay, and here we go. Get some of our paint into here. The benefits of hard edge painting is you get to come up with some really like tight paintings, right? Like paintings where people are like, whoa, like that looks pretty. But you don't have the freedom of, you don't have the same type of the same level of freedom painting as you would a non-hard edge painting. And as you could tell, like as I start to do this outline, this black is not going to have as much create as much of a consequence. Like down on the bottom, it's clearly like there's no mixing of this color. Like it should, the contrast is just so much that any overlay, you can totally notice it like right away. And obviously I'm very close to my painting right now compared to if you're watching from far away. So, you know, if you're at a distance and you're looking at this painting when it's done as a whole, you know, of course people aren't going to notice it. So sometimes it's good to be like, you know, cognizant of that if you're if you're overly perfectionist or whatever. Oh no, I took the paint off. All right, we'll have to adjust that later. I accidentally took some of the tape off, so some of the blue invaded the other area. And here we go. So I can see a little bit of the black popping into our blue here. But I'm using a chair for support for my body because this is because of the angle that I'm painting. That's probably a good strategy for this though, is using colors that are closer in value to each other. If you're afraid of the color below it from popping over, okay. So let's see, is it perfect? Yes, it is perfect. Okay, cool. So get a little bit of this corner. Actually, it is not perfect. There's a little white spot right here. There we go. Okay. Let's wipe this off on my other canvas here and clean this brush off again for the 10th. Actually, it's not the 10th time. It's only, we're only on line number 5 out of 40. So however much time this is taking, let's see, it's been about, let's say I've only been doing the painting for about an hour and a half. So an hour and a half for every 5 lines, that's 90 minutes. Alexa, what's 90 divided by 5?
90 divided by 5 is 18.
So it's about 20 minutes per line. Is it really taking that long? Or 18 minutes per line? 20 minutes per line? I don't think so. I don't think it's taking that long. Doesn't feel like that long. So I'm cleaning off my brush right now. Because I have to clean it off after every time. Because I want to use a consistent brush. And I don't want any, like what I found earlier when I was painting the red or the yellow, is if I was painting the red and then I start painting the yellow, sometimes the the red gets like to the edge, and then you accidentally use that, and it messes up the space. So, all right, let's get our next line here of tape. And this is exciting. It's like unwrapping a gift, because with every line, you get to see the perfect line that you made below it. Get to see the perfection that you have crafted. And let's get on this other side here. Oh, you know what? So here I am, I'm struggling to try to get around the side, but all I really need to do is start from here and then peel it around. Again, wisdom. Wisdom. Experience teaches wisdom. I mean, I guess Omizu could have just told me that. He seems to come up with all these great ideas of common sense. But I guess sometimes you gotta people gotta learn on their own, right? So I'm just trying to make sure that as this piece comes off, why is this coming off? Why is it not coming off? Okay. And then now I'm going to go down this side right here. Of course, everybody, nice safety warning. I use this. This has a protective top so that the razor goes in here and it gets blocked and you can't really cut yourself. It's a safety razor that I'm using for this technique. So just something to be considerate of when if you decide to do it yourself. And I really think at this point, I'm trying to think of some good color combinations. So I got the red, yellow, green, black, blue. I'm gonna go with an ochre. Let's go with this red ochre. Yeah. Hopefully this red ochre lasts across the entire painting. And here we go. So I'm gonna keep going for a bit. I thought I was gonna stop after that line, but you know, once you get on a roll. Alexa, what time is it?
The time is 8:52 p.m.
Yeah, it's only 8:52. I'm not going to bed for a little while. So let's just keep working this piece. Okay. Go. All right, let's do this. This is gonna come down right down into here. Hope I'm not blocking the screen too much. Let's see. Go down right like that. Right up against the blue. Come on, a little bit lower, lower. There we go. And again, using this strategy that ideally, if you use like something of a similar value as far as the lightness or darkness goes, you're gonna have an easier time with everything. So now let's go back around here. We're just gonna paint in around the blue. So I thought I'd jump into a philosophical discussion of art here. I've been listening to this great podcast called, or not podcast, it's an audiobook. It's on Audible. I highly recommend it. It's called Art and Fear. And it's an interesting book because it kind of like goes into like a lot of art philosophy and stuff. And it was talking about how it was sharing their thoughts about like technical art versus, you know, the artist, and like, you know, why so many artists like lean towards technical art, and there's some of the philosophy. And I want to say, like, as far as this painting goes, you know, at this point I don't feel like this is not the creative part. This is the part of that's just the work, right? And again, I'm just getting philosophical here. Art theory, art ideas. Feel free to disagree. But this thing that I'm doing right now, this is not the art. Yes, I'm making the art, but it's not the creative part. It's not the thought, the vision, right? It's not the vision. This is just the action of doing the monotonous work. And I enjoy it. But as far as philosophical art, esoteric conversation goes, I don't feel creative right now. This is not a creative part, the thing that I'm doing right now. Right, the creative part has already happened, and now it's all about the execution, the technical side of this painting. Pat! What's up, Pat? You want to see the kittens? Hey, Pat. You want to see the kittens? You want to see the kittens? Here, my door's locked. Hold on 1 second. Here's one. You can see him. Hold on, let me grab the other one so you can. Come here, Pookie. Oh, no? Here, let me grab him. Is he still there? Pookie, come here. No. Come here, Scout. Let's go be social. Okay, we're back. It's very mechanical. Yes, this is very mechanical. I guess, would you even call this technical? I don't know. But yes, at this point, you know, this is the mechanical part of this painting. You know, there are some some elements of the artist, right? Like, you know, the colors I pick, how when I do this, some of the brush kind of spreads into the other area. But yes, this is the mechanical part. This is, I don't consider this the, I don't necessarily consider this part the work of the artist. You know, this is, I guess, the work of the craftsperson. I don't know if that's a fair statement. Is that a fair statement? Is that accurate? Like, this is the work of the craft, not the work of the artist, I guess. Like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a quote that goes with what I'm trying to say, and that is that, you know, this part that I'm doing right now is not the creative part. It is the, as Omizu chimed in with the perfect word, mechanical. I said technical, but, you know, mechanical. Once you come up with an idea, you could basically get a robot, you know, you could program a robot to do this. This is the part that a robot can do. That, you know, the human came up with the idea, but the robot can execute this. And pretty much at this point, like, you know, I feel like on one hand, and by the way, again, getting into this, the philosophical talk, right? I feel like an artist could get caught up in a work, doing tons of work like this because it takes like a long time. And it could feel like, you know, we're doing great work or something, you know, we're doing something creative. Or, you know, this, but I feel like this would be a great type of work to do in between when we're kind of like, when we have like painter's block, right? When we're kind of like stuck on what to paint next. So we just need something that takes up a lot of time so that we can, you know, we can kind of like skip the hard part of coming up with the idea. I don't know if that's a fair statement saying that the hard part is coming up with the idea. Because the idea was there. I actually just took this off an Instagram video where someone was doing straight lines, except I'm adding a design in the center. So that wasn't really that hard to come up with the idea, but you know, once you lay down everything, once you like plan it, at this point, like it's pretty much, it could create itself almost. Like you can pretty much see what it's going to be like. It's not just an imagination anymore. And you know, as far as the philosophical discussion goes, when does the artistic element end? When does the creative part finish? And when does the mechanical, just the mechanical, technical, whatever crafting part begin? That is the question. But those are just my beliefs. What do y'all believe? Berta Wiltshire. Hello. Welcome, Berta. I recognize a lot of names, and I don't know exactly when the last time you stopped by was, but thank you for stopping by again. I very much appreciate return visitors. It helps a lot. Helps the algorithm. It helps me let me know that I'm doing something right. Even if that something right is just making sure that I can stay consistent. So here we go. Right, let's lay this brush down and go ahead and remove this next section of tape. So Berta, how have you been since we last chatted? Ozma, what's going on? How are you? How have you been? Has stuff been picking back up for you? I finally got a nice little gig last week. And here we go. What am I painting tonight? So I am painting, doing this hard edge painting of this cat that I designed. And basically what we're doing is I'm painting along the outside parts of this cat first. And then I'm going to move into the inside parts. But I don't think, I'm definitely not going to get to the inside parts tonight because each of these lines takes about like 10 minutes. And I need to sleep at some point. But yeah, this is actually the design of a cat. Can you see it? It's a cat. It's supposed to be a cat. Maybe it doesn't look like a cat, but it is. Just imagine that it is, and it shall be. Imagine it is what it is. And Berta, we're having open class on Sundays if I wish to come by. Open class. Oh, how far is that? You can text me the details. Berta, Danny, certainly very creative in artwork, willing to take risks. Like that. Thanks, Danny E. Thank you, yeah. You know, I think the biggest risk with this piece, I was just thinking about risk earlier. I was like, you know, this is a pretty straightforward piece. The biggest risk is actually getting started on this because there's so many ways you could possibly mess up, right? Like maybe this design looks weird when I'm done. You know, after I finish the whole thing, the design looks weird, or you know, something smudges along the way. And part of me is like so tempted to add, after I finish this, just smudge the whole thing in some way, pull a Francis Bacon, and you know, do something different, make something, you know, after spending all the time and effort to make it all perfect, to just totally ruin it. I'm kind of tempted to do that, just to like make an artist statement, you know. So I don't know yet, but it's got to be like a creative way of like messing it up. It can't just be like, oh, let me just smudge this, paint it over with black. I feel like I got to do something. But maybe I won't. Maybe I'll be too scared to. Maybe I'll be like, I spent so much time on it, I can't possibly make it messed up. I don't know. Gotta balance making a statement versus versus sticking with something I create. Whew. Okay. So what should the next color be? I guess I could kind of do a theme, right? I got like a red, yellow, green, black, blue, red. I could do like a dark orange, maybe. Or a lighter yellow. How can we do this? What kind of color do we want to go with? Yeah, we could go with maybe a darker yellow. What would a dark yellow look like? A dark yellow would be like an ochre. Maybe we mix some of this. Maybe we mix some of our ochre in with our yellow and see what happens, what kind of color we get from this. No, it's not different enough. Okay, this is like a pink tan color. Maybe go with some of this red. Bring in this red here. Going with like a muted color here. Like a muted pink. This could be careful, beautiful, official, text details, 20-second, very fun, neat creator. Awesome. What are you working on nowadays, Asma? Anything? Any artwork? Building a house for your cat? Oh, hey, Asma, you still here? If you're still here, I got something fun to show you. Let me know if you're still here. Because if you're not, I can't show you. But all right. Oh, here. Okay, 1 second. You're gonna love this. You are going to love this. Taking off my gloves and getting a new pair just for you. What are you doing? Come here. Look at her. Look at how cute she is. Look at how cute this little girl is. Oh, okay. Hang on. Hold on. You gotta see the world. You're gonna be famous. Just kidding. Okay. She's a little less chill. Let me go find the other one and see if they'll hang out with us. Scout, where you at, pal? You waiting for dinner? Yo, look at this guy, Alsma. Hey. Makes him nibbling his ear makes him fall asleep. All right. Yeah. So if you're... Oh, you have a black cat? I totally forgot that. Yeah. Well, hey, so we're fostering those kittens. They're up for adoption. Now, you do have to adopt both. Technically, that's not true, but we do hope that whoever does adopt them does adopt both. Let's go with a pink here. We're going to go with a flesh tone for this section here. Actually, this isn't really a flesh tone. This is just like a ochre, brown ochre color. Adopt, don't shop. Yes. So the story with these kittens is someone just like dropped off. They pulled up and they caught this all on camera, but they basically pulled up to the animal shelter and they had their kid go out with a box, go out of the animal shelter. They had a box and they just dropped them off right at the door of the animal shelter and just dipped. Which I don't know, supposedly you're not really allowed to do that. And there was 8 of them. So, by the way, it's pretty good. This animal shelter found a family for all 8 of these kittens in like just a few hours actually, I think, is what they're saying. So pretty amazing how quickly they were able to find foster parents, fosters for these wonderful little kitties. I like how everybody just like popped into the room at once. I don't know how that happened. Oh, man! I scraped a little bit into our red, which, you know, hopefully it doesn't make too much of a difference. But anyways. What a lesson kid learn. Well, at least they are safe. Yes, they are safe, they're happy, and they are of age to find families. All right, so here we go. Let's see, we got 3, 6, 7. We're actually moving along tonight. 2.5 hours, not bad. 2 hours, 40 minutes so far. We are moving along. I'm trying not to block the screen. Can't really tell if I am. But let's see. Yeah. go. Maybe I'll come up with a better system for this than currently. Yeah. Oh, so the so I don't know if you noticed, but one of them had colors and markings on them. So the one that's all black is actually named Scout. And the other one is named Pookie. So Cat named Pookie and I named Scout. And for those of you that don't know, Cat is my partner, my lady friend, my girl. But yes, so just so you know, I'm not talking about another cat, like an animal cat. Her name is Cat. Cat is a human. Yes, Cat is a human. K-A-T, Cat is a human person. So I put this color down somewhere. Where did I put this color? Is this it right here? Yes, this brown color, this orangish color is right here. So everybody, Ozma's an actor. I think you were on an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm, right? Ozma? Was it Curb Your Enthusiasm? I mean, you were on a lot of things, but... I have an actor in a room. How exciting is that, huh? Real actor. Yeah, you can see her right next. She has a scene with the Larry David. Is it Larry David or is it somebody else? I feel like it was Larry David. Could be wrong though. Ah, it moved. Oh, I'm gonna need a chiropractor after this with my neck constantly craned. I don't know if you can't really see me, but my neck's basically at an angle this whole time. And honestly, I don't know if turning it would actually make it easier. I feel like it wouldn't. This just, although I have to crane my neck, this feels more natural. Because if it's like straight up and down, I kind of have to like the way my hand moves is not as precise this way as it is this way for whatever reason. Maybe it's just my imagination. That's just how it feels. Okay, so Time to clean off this brush. I am using the heck out of this brush. Alright, what color should I go with now? I think I'm gonna look for a green. But I want to add like a wooded green, like an olive. I'm going for an olive green next. Which means it's a green, but with just a hint, a tiny hint of red, I think would be the main source of that color. Nice green with a hint of red. So we're gonna grab this tiny bit of this red and let's mix it in with our green. And I think this ochre will help to create an olive color. Yeah, we're gonna get our like military olive, dark olive green. And that's what we kind of got. And you know, red and green are going to counter each other, right? They're going to have things to say to each other. They're going to counter each other. So, oh yeah, I totally forgot to take off the tape. So, what's going on, Berta? How you doing? Tell us about yourself. What is happening in your life? What is the most exciting thing that has happened to you in the past 6 months? Have you made any new friendships? Did you get a promotion at work? And here we go. So I'm going to pull this section off. And hopefully doesn't peel off the leg. Perfect. Perfect. Came off just right. Honestly, I feel like after I'm done with this painting, I'm not going to know what to do with myself. I'm going to be so lost and confused. I'm going to be a lost soul who is going to be worried about what the next project's going to be. You're sitting next to Richard Lewis. Rest in peace. Larry, the creator himself. I believe that one episode 7-11 watched on YouTube. Highly recommend it. It's my kind of humor. Yes, it is. Okay. We're gonna pop this piece down right here. Okay, and I'm gonna start another project. That's right. I'm gonna start another project. Boom. All right, so we are here, and we are gonna move in with this. Got this really dark olive green, and I seem to follow a pattern that we're, doing some light color mixed with dark color. But again, getting into art philosophy, do I feel like, is this really the work of the artist? I feel like the work right now is not truly the creative work that, helps to helps artists to thrive. I feel like this is the work that, the creative part, the ideation, the coming up with a vision of something and turning it into something, that has already been done. The vision has already been crafted, and at this point, and again, this is a fairly easy project at this point. It's totally mechanical, totally just a matter of time and patience. Like, it doesn't require me to really have like an eye or anything, because all the design is already here. Yes, I have to, come up with colors here for the rest of the project, of course, but for the most part, like, creative work is done. And with that book today I was listening to, it's called Art and Fear. Really good book, worthwhile to read for a variety of artists. It's really geared towards visual artists, and musicians. But at the same time, this almost looks black. I should have used this for black instead of black, because this is like an olive green. I don't know if y'all can see that, but any other actors on here? Probably not. I don't think anyone else here is an actor. Anybody else in the room? I mean, except for myself, but that's different. So Ozma, how are your videos coming along? I know you're really looking to ramp up on your channel development. I haven't seen updates. I know I'm subscribed to you. I just haven't seen any fresh updates, or I guess my channel, my notifications. Maybe my notifications didn't pop up or something. I don't know. Oh, okay. Let's see. I almost fell here because of this chair. Yeah? Okay, cool. Thank you. Thanks for letting me know that. Well, that's what we're doing. This dark green is lifting the mood up, I guess. Whew. I need to like take a breath after. All right, Ozma. Hey, you take care. Thanks for, I really appreciate you. Oh, pause on posting. I see. Yeah, it's really hard to keep up. I've been making videos for like on and off for like 6 years, and it's like You know, it's definitely a game that you need to make sure that, you know, you take breaks when you need to, but just make sure that you don't, you know, give up. I'm not saying you are, I'm just that you have given up. I'm just saying, like, you know, just keep going, keep working at it, and eventually something will find itself into your world. Oh, okay. Yeah, priority switched for me quite a lot. And, you know, especially since it's been slow, right? I mean, I don't know if it's been slow for you, but as far as you know, people that I know, it's been quite a challenging time. You know what I find interesting is I've worked more times with you, Ausma, than I have with Kat. I don't know why I find that amusing, but I just think it's a funny coincidence. Like, we submit for the same stuff like all the time, but But you know what? I keep saying this isn't the work of the artist, but maybe it is. What if it is? This is helping to create something. No one has like challenged me on that idea yet. So, you know, am I just supposed to think in my own little bubble here and just kind of like make stuff up that may or may not be right? No one has challenged me on the idea yet that this is not the creative part. I know I made a good argument, and I'm sure someone else has said that before. That, you know, the mechanical part is not the work of the artist, but maybe it is. What if it is? What if, you know, this is building something as part of the work? You know, it is the work. If painting isn't the work, if laying down paint is not the work, then what is, right? I wish more people challenged my ideas. Let's have a debate every single time I'm on YouTube. Just kidding. That would be annoying. But, you know, to kind of discuss a point, discuss a philosophy. By the way, we do that here. So with Omizu and Mark and some of the other live viewers that come in, we get really intensely philosophical. Like, what came first? Or would you rather have a paint tube, or would you rather have a finished painting? So I'm going to keep going now. Really want to clean off this brush here. You know, I find that part of the most rewarding thing of this is taking the tape off and seeing the results. As, like, it's kind of like almost like revealing itself. Little by little, this painting reveals itself. Almost like a loading screen on a computer, you know, like. The screen paints being really difficult to get off. Hey Ozma, you have any creative book recommendations? Recommendations for books about art and creativity? I know you were studying painting for a little while. Sometimes you gotta hold yourself back from diving too deep to philosophy. No right or wrong. Who says it? No coincidence, synchronicities. Yeah, you know, I just learned about the word synchronicity. That's a very powerful word that I've started to put into my life. Good old Deepak Chopra, right? Deepak Chopra. Everything in our lives is but a small miracle. No art book you can recommend us now. Okay, that's cool. No worries. Just thought I'd ask. Kitten, no. Psst. No, Pookie. Pookie, go. Why do kittens not understand the word no? Can they do they not understand English? Pookie, do you not understand English? Do you not understand what I'm trying to tell you? No. Stop throwing my stuff on the floor. Stop it. Eh. Psst, hey, stop. 48 Laws of Power. Yeah, good old Robert Greene. He's got a great book called Mastery, too. That's a good creative book. If you're looking for a creative book. All right. So I know this is a very mechanical project, but because it's so mechanical, it requires like all this precision. My thinking brain is kind of shutting down, and I'm like, I don't know what color to put right now. I don't know if I am gonna pick the right color. So I think I'm gonna take a break now and call this a night on this project. It's good timing because I just cleaned the brush off. And we're gonna take a break on this maybe till tomorrow. I feel like I should keep working though, because it's not like this is hard. It's just, I'm not even a quarter of the way done. Let me see. So we got 3, 6, 7, 8 out of 40. So I'm like 20% of the way done, plus the kitten head. I think it'll be better once I do tomorrow, because then I'll be fresh and I'll be ready to I think I'd knock out an extra 10 of these, 12 of these. I'm gonna take a break now. Little toddlers. Don't go there. Stop being curious. No. Stop being curious. Close on my art supplies. So it's a good thing that I got this palette because I can close up my paintings and stuff. Close up my paints every night when I finish. So I'm actually wrapping up right now. I need to think on these colors. So, curious how? What do you mean? You're texting, you're curious? What are you talking about, Ozma? What you talking about, Ozma? You want to say I'm curious of the final will look. Stop being curious. You want to say, oh, okay. I can't, so the thing about my live streams is I just talk and I talk and I talk. And sometimes like I'll start to say stuff and I'll either like get distracted on the way or like just, totally not even realize what I was just talking about. But Ozma, we got another synchronicity about curious. Yes, we are very synchronized. We're very synchronized, my friend. So we're going to call this done for now. We're going to take a break. I'm not going to be back tonight, but tomorrow, I don't know. I'm on call for tomorrow, so I don't know if I'm necessarily, if I will have time in the morning and just finish this tomorrow by painting it all day, or whether I might only have tomorrow. But everybody that tuned in, thanks. Take care. Ozma, what's going on? You take care. All right, I'll see you. Let's meet up soon, or grab some coffee or whatever, or do something creative. Good night, everybody. Take care.